So I'm here with Mimi, who starred in my music video, and she will be interviewing me on the question, in what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? She is aware of my products, especially my music video, and thus the most appropriate person to enable me to analyse conventions.
What conventions of real music videos did you identify and did you use them?
Well, when I was identifying conventions of music videos in general, I looked at videos across all genres to identify common themes in the creation of products. A common convention in all genres was the use of lip syncing, which tends to be the artist. This links with Goodwin's star image theory, of which appearing and lip syncing in the video helps the artist stay current, causing the audience to remember them. Through the use of lip syncing, they can also exhibit their own unique style, which, according to Goodwin, may give the artist attention in other media texts, thus boosting their success. I recognised this very common convention of music videos, and also recognising the extent of its importance. It was therefore a convention that I utilised in my music video in order to create a product that people would actually recognise as a music video.
Did you have any difficulties in using this convention?
It was in fact difficult to make use of this convention due to the nature of the grime genre. Grime involves rapping, a style of music that is very personal to the artist, almost like they are talking. Everyone has different tones of voice, dialects, thus to lip sync over poses a definite challenge. I recognise that my use of this convention may have not been entirely effective, and that it is a little off at various points. However, the end result was as good as it could have been after slowing shots, adding extra shots and retaking during the filming. Thus, although not perfect, I have the peace of mind that there was little else I could do to ensure the use of this convention was to optimum accuracy.
Did you use any other conventions of music videos in general?
Well, another convention of music videos in general that I identified was again looking at the theorist Goodwin, who stated that music videos use shots to help illustrate meaning behind the lyrics, whether that's literally or more metaphorically. This convention is especially apparent in regards to narrative music videos, where the story plays out in relation to the song. Thus, due to the narrative base of predominantly all grime music videos, such a convention is also seen in my chosen genre. For example, when the song lyrics are talking about her wealth, most things she could have bought, I illustrated this in the lyrics by using a close-up shot of her putting money into a purse, then proceeding to show an extreme close-up of an Audi car logo, which, due to the nature of the car, quite expensive, exhibits her wealth, hence signifying what the lyrics are saying. In addition, I used this convention in the shot where only her eyes are visible in the car mirror. The lyric is, "She's antisocial." This shot illustrates such a lyric as the mirror is acting as an added barrier between her and the audience, thus suggesting distance and a lack of connection between her and others.
Does this relate to any theories?
Using shots to signify meaning as a convention that I have used in my music video coincides with Barth's theory of semiology, the study of signs, of which there is a denotation of the sign, its literal meaning, but also a connotation, which is what you associate with that denotation. So, for example, I used a lit candle as an aspect of mise-en-scène when the boy is perusing the photo album. It is just a candle, yet there are associations with this sign. A candle represents hope, suggesting that the boy looking at the album still has the hope that their friendship could rekindle. A candle is also evocative of warmth, suggesting the feeling he gets as he is reminiscing such memories. However, a candle also tends to be lit in someone's memory. Thus, the candle in the lantern is subtly foreshadowing the sad ending of which he passes away due to drug addiction. Although Barth's theory is not a convention of music videos itself, the fact it is suggesting a relationship between visuals and the meaning of the lyrics, it does correlate with Goodwin's convention, one that I have used consistently throughout my music video to ensure a well-told narrative that maintains an element of depth.
That's very analytical, but were there any other conventions?
Another convention of music videos in general is the consistent use of close-up shots. Such a convention is indicative across nearly all genres, including that of grime. I included this convention because as the artist's face is shown throughout, the audience will associate them with the song, thus building up their image, according to Richard Dyer's star theory. However, I did also utilise this convention for another reason, and that is due to the narrative of the video. I regularly use close-ups of the girl's face, as I believed it to be important for the audience to see in detail the emotional changes in her expression, and her deterioration physically as her drug addiction progressed. Using the convention of close-ups allowed this, and I think works far better than just a video of someone actually taking drugs throughout, which could be inappropriate and a narrative that really means nothing and is actually rather crude.
Did you use or challenge any conventions specific to the grime genre?
Well, yes, I also did identify conventions that are specific to the genre, and one of the most prominent conventions was that of depicting a very particular location. Grime originated in the urban areas of London, with the artists rapping about their hardships in their lives, the surrounds living in what could be considered rather broken areas. Thus, the location of grime videos depicts such urban areas. However, it was here that I challenged the conventions of grime music videos. I used a location that is a complete juxtaposition to what is normally seen, a suburban middle-class neighbourhood. Rather than council estates, graffiti and high-rise buildings, trees, leafery and greenery are consistently shown. And the girl lives in a neatly kept house with a pale green front door, all mise-en-scène that produces suburban connotations.
Why did you challenge this convention?
I challenged this convention because I wanted to move away from the stereotypes that surround drug addiction. The idea that such a thing is confined to the lower classes, where in the urban areas of which they reside, it is perceived that drugs are more readily available. However, despite such a stereotype reinforced in the media, it is not reality. Addiction and its consequences can happen to anyone, no matter their class, and this was important for me to get across, hence my challenging of this convention. This would appeal to my audience. Audiences want to be challenged when consuming media products, to an extent, as seeing products that are generic may become tedious. Thus, by pushing through the norms, I have created a product that stands out from the many other products within the grime genre.
Were there any conventions of grime that you utilised?
Well, whilst on the topic of location, another convention I identified was the use of barbershops in many grime music videos. I analysed why this was the case in my post about conventions of the genre. The majority of grime artists are of an ethnic minority. After the emigration of people from the West Indies into Britain after the collapse of the British Empire, their culture filtered into the British way of life, but needing a place to cater for their different textured hair. Their barbershops also a place of which their community congregate. It was exactly this which was drawn upon by Gilroy, who located black British identity between Africa and the UK, putting forward a diasporic and dynamic theory of identity, exploring ethnicity in British society and culture. It is clear, therefore, that barbershops in grime have very positive connotations. They represent their deep-rooted culture and represent generations coming together and receiving a service that is available only to their ethnicity, something to be treasured. People laughing and smiling in a barbershop can even be seen in Nine's actual music video for the song Yay.
How did you challenge this convention and why?
I challenged this convention in that rather than depicting a barber's, I made use of a nail salon. I did this for two reasons. Firstly, unlike barbershops in grime, of which suggest positivity, nail salons have far more negative connotations. Chinese and Vietnamese nail salons in the UK have had a reputation of crime, especially in the form of money laundering, due to it being a cash-in-hand service that is difficult to monitor. Such negative connotations coincide with the themes in the music video, where the girl has succumbed to drug abuse. Therefore, by challenging this convention, I am in fact recognising Goodwin's relationship between visuals and the song, whilst also subtly reinforcing negativity and dark tones throughout the video to foreshadow her death at the very end. I also challenge this convention, however, as unlike barbers where getting your hair cut is a necessity, using a nail salon and getting your nails done is quite an expensive luxury. Thus, by showing the girl paying for such a service, the audience will recognise her wealth and her higher class, and thus understand yet again that drug addiction can happen to anyone.
Were there any grime conventions that you obey in regards to your music video?
Well, a convention of grime is a narrative-based music video, with the lyrics narrating a story of the artist's struggles and past experiences. Thus, I obey this convention as my music video is harrowing, with the only difference being that it is told from the perspective of the wealthier middle class. I also made use of the technical elements used in the grime genre, such as low-angle shots to suggest authority, an illusion that leads to respect from the audience, as well as slow-motion effects when the shot was vital to the storyline, thus prolonging action and expression, that would have otherwise been too fleeting for the audience. I used such grime conventions in my music video because at the end of the day I still wanted my product to resemble something from the genre, in order to appeal to my audience who are familiar with what is the norm.
I understand you challenged an aspect of Laura Mulvey's theory. Can you explain that to me?
Well, Laura Mulvey suggests that a convention in media text, including music videos, is that women are only portrayed as two possibilities: a virginal innocent character or a sexy whore, the virgin whore dichotomy. I have challenged such a convention. The girl depicted in the photo album is wearing little makeup, pulling silly faces, smiling, reading a novel, wearing school uniform. I am thus presenting her as a very innocent character. However, later in the music video, she is wearing lots of makeup, wearing black fur coat, kissing multiple boys, thus presenting her as a sexy whore. I am challenging Mulvey's convention in that the girl is presented as both types. The reason behind this is that showing such a contrast between before the drug addiction and after highlights her deterioration and how drug abuse can completely change you as a person, all in the hope that my audience will recognise this and not think that drugs are a route that they want to go down.
In what ways does your digipack use conventions of real media products?
Well, there are various conventions of digipack that are apparent across all music genres, including grime, and I have made use of them in my product. The most essential are the artist's name and album name, features of which I have to include to ensure that people know what they are purchasing and that full recognition is given to the artist. Following convention, however, I also place these on the spine, as this is this area which is visible when the product is stored. I also learnt that on the spine there consists a catalogue number, which I ensured I used, as real digipacks feature this for tracking purposes. Similarly, a convention is also including a barcode, which I obeyed as this is needed to purchase the product. Featuring on the back panel is also the record label and copyright information, which was a convention that was very important to follow due to legalities. Such legalities can also be seen in my use of parental advisory explicit content sticker, of which, due to the nature of grime music, tends to feature often. I had to follow this convention of not just grime digipacks, but any that have rude or distressing content, as this is a form of media regulation that is required by law that leaves whether the product is suitable up to the parent's discretion.
Did you identify any other digipack conventions?
A convention of general digipacks and grime digipacks alike is also that of including a subliminal message, a message that is also conveyed in the music video. This is especially the case in digipacks from the grime genre, where due to its narrative videos usually represents a harrowing experience or a lesson that was learnt by the artist. Thus, this is also conveyed in the digipack, and to remain true to this convention, I kept it in mind in the creation of my product. The front panel shows the boy with his arms crossed, clutching at the album. His arms crossed in this fashion suggest he is withdrawn, which represents how he is no longer the happy person he once was, before his best friend became a drug addict. However, by holding the photo album, it's suggesting that he is still pining after the friendship that is depicted throughout its pages. Thus, the front panel has the same subliminal message that is portrayed in the music video. I followed this convention because it reinforces the message of the music video in the eyes of the audience, hence have a greater understanding of the woven narrative, perhaps its content becoming more poignant.
What would you say is the most important convention, and why did you use it?
Well, when identifying conventions of grime digipacks, I realised that the most apparent was their simplicity in design. Aside from the obvious features and essential imagery, their products are not busy or cluttered, and I think this ensures that the message conveyed is not distracted from. I also think the simplicity stems from the fact that the grime genre is recent, and CDs are very traditional forms of distribution. Thus, distribution in grime more commonly takes the form of SoundCloud, downloading and streaming. Thus, focus has shifted from complex products to the quality of music, as well as the greater regularity in actually releasing music in comparison to other genres. It is because of this that the digipacks that are seen in the grime genre are very simple. I followed this convention in the front, just the artist is shown, a low-angle shot which, due to its connotations of authority, is another convention. The back panel is her hand holding a card of the track listing, and the inside panels are a series of images of the two of them. Following convention in such a way across all of my digipack was very important, as my audience, which was different to the music video in that it was older, 30 to 45, as it is this generation that tend to consume the outdated form of music distribution, would only be attracted to a product that looks like others from grime, as it is looking like grime that draws them usually into purchasing, and thus all conventions needed to be followed, so my digipack would also relish in such success.
In terms of your website, what conventions of grime websites did you use?
Similarly to the digipacks, grime music artists' website's most apparent convention is that of simplicity, with only around 4 pages and the main features across all of those consisting of showing the newest digipack with links to purchase it. When I identified this convention, I began to look in depth as to why this was, why the primary use of grime websites was to sell either merch or their music, rather than include various functions so that fans are kept up to date. I realised that websites are becoming less relevant as social media grows. Due to how recent the grime genre is, they are going to make use of such platforms far more extensively than other more traditional genres. Grime artists use social media to keep up to date with their audience, and the simplicity of the website stems from the fact that along with a store, one of the key features is social media links, as in grime. This is where the artist and fans interact. This is why I utilise the convention of having link bars, as well as embedding tweets across my website, as just like my digipack, the audience are that of people who are older and comfortable with grime products already. Thus, my own website needed the elements that make up a grime product. As previously mentioned, a convention of grime music websites is a store page, as well as various links enabling the purchase of music. This is a convention I have used, as no matter what the genre, the artist does need to make money. They are not relishing in success if they are not earning, making money especially important for many grime artists, including Nines, who on the whole do not feature regularly in the top 40 charts. Admittedly, with a wider audience, grime is slowly filtering into the charts.
Were there any conventions of music artist websites in general that you used?
Despite wanting my website to resemble a product from the genre, I still had to utilise conventions that can be seen across all genres, and are the essential building blocks of a music artist website. An example of this is in the top left of the header. An example of this is the artist's name depicted clearly, boldly, and usually in the top left of the header, and features on every page of the site, usually with their logo alongside. This was an important convention for me to obey, as the consumer of the website has to be aware of who the website belongs to, instantly to ensure they recognise that it is the artist's product. In addition, tour dates feature on both grime and general music artist websites alike, a vital piece of information that is beneficial to the audience, who can purchase tickets and enjoy the music, but it is equally as beneficial to the artist, who again will be making money. This was therefore yet another convention I used, as it provides for both parties. When identifying conventions of websites in general, I noticed the use of embedding YouTube clips of the artist, music videos and performances. Despite such a feature only occasionally being used in grime, thus not technically a convention, I made the decision to utilise it due to its benefits. It would attract the audience as the website starts to act as a source of entertainment as well as just a store. It is a collection of videos revolving solely around the artist, and thus fans can discover their music without the distraction of alternative suggested videos that appear when utilising YouTube directly. I also use this convention as it may attract a greater fan base, as the audience peruse more and more songs that they may enjoy. Lastly, I use the convention of including images of the artist, as although sometimes not used in the genre, such a feature promotes the artist's image in a way that means they can become recognisable to the audience, something that would contribute to their success and money being the reason that all of these products are created in the first place.